Time for another stock review, this time Texas Pacific Land. Can we make money? Turn on the money printer. Let's get straight into it. Let's look over the numbers and decide if this is a stock we can make money on. So let's get straight into it. And just so you know, I only own the S&P. I'm not here to pump and dump stocks. I am here to provide a service to my members. If you're a member of my channel, you can book a review for just $1 and it'll be on the list, or you can pay a little bit more and it'll go straight to the top. It's entirely up to you. And we also have a Meet the CEO series as well. So we would love to meet the CEO and discuss the whole business. So in this review, tap the like button if you like this sort of content. It's the most honest real review you're ever going to get. I'm not sponsored by anyone or paid by anyone. I get a super chat from a member to cover it, but not from the company. Anyway, let's look at it. This is the overall chart. It's a very interesting one, this. We're going to look at the overall chart. We're going to look at the balance sheet, the profitability, the intrinsic value, the financials, the inside trading, who's buying, who's selling. We're also going to take a look at some latest news, latest trends, the website, all kinds of stuff, how it compares to the S&P as well. You'll be fascinated by this one. This really is a fascinating stock. So you're about to find out a lot with this stock, and it could be one to buy. We shall see. Very, very interesting. Anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So let's start at the very, very beginning and go over to here. What is it, first of all? Texas Land Pacific, $811 is where we are today. And over the maximum period that we have here, from 2000 to today, we're up 10,300%. Look at that for growth. Indeed, huge, 210 over the last 5 years. So the main growth was in the early years. We were 1,000% profit in the first couple of years here on this chart here. But anyway, over the last day, it's been down. The last week, it's up 3.81. Over the month, it's up nearly 5%, up 38% over the last 3 months. So it's growing nicely, consistently going up. There does seem to be buying and selling opportunity along the journey. There is some volatility, but not much. Generally trending upwards. Looks very nice indeed. Look at that. You buy here, sell here, you buy here. So, I mean, real opportunity, or you're just holding it. But anyway, this also comes with a dividend as well. So lots to talk about on this stock. So we've got growth plus a dividend. That's a perfect thing, right? If it all goes well. Texas Pacific Land operates as a landowner in the state of Texas. Its surface and royalty ownership allow revenue generation through the entire value chain of oil and gas development, including through fixed fee payments to use of the firm's land, revenue for sales of materials used in construction of infrastructure, providing sourced water and treated produced water, revenue from its oil and gas royalty interest, and revenues related to saltwater disposal on land. The firm also generates revenue from pipeline. This could be interesting coming up with what Donald Trump's going to do if he wins the election, which he probably will. Power line and utility easements, commercial leases, material sales, and seismic and temporary permits related to a variety of land uses, including midstream infrastructure projects and hydrocarbon processing facilities. It operates through the Land and Resources Management and Water Services and Operations segment. The Land and Resource Management segment focuses on managing oil and gas royalty interests and surface. The Water Services and Operations segment refers to the full service water offerings to operators in the Permian Basin through Texas Pacific Water Resources, a single-member Texas limited liability company owned by the company. The company was founded in 1871, headquartered in Dallas. So this is a stock with history. a stock with potential growth with what we're seeing now with Donald Trump. This looks very, very interesting indeed. A lot of people moving to this area. I know, I live here. So there's growth here. 100 employees, very, very small amount of employees. Founded in 1871, so it's got history. Margin requirement, very low risk if you're buying it on margin. All good so far. 18 billion is the market cap. Okay, so a reasonable sized company. Price to earnings ratio 43 times earnings. So it might not necessarily be cheap, but cheap isn't always good. Dividend 0.55%, but we've got massive growth as well. So looking good there. Average volume 106,000. Wow. Which means people don't trade it. It just gets owned. Volume today, 18,000. 106,000 on a market cap of 18.8. Wow. No one, I always like volume, but in a stock that's climbing, don't need volume. It's just buying and owning and holding. That's very interesting. That shows some stability there. Okay, let's scroll down. For this little bit of information, I'm going to go over to this view. It presents a better way of showing you. 52-week high, 834, 52-week low, 467. It's so huge amounts of movement there, but in the upward direction, that's okay. Robinhood, right, trading trends. As you can see, majority is buying. Our customers, this is on Robinhood, sell volume percentage increased by 25% versus the last trading day. This is not investment advice. That was just in the last trading day, increased by 25%. That's sell volume. Okay, as you can see the little red line at the end. What about hedge funds? Okay, there's been some selling going on here. More than there is. Q1, let me just read this here. Q1 24 hedge fund owners of TPL increased by, hedge fund ownership increased by 3.62 thousand shares versus Q4. Okay, hedge funds. Let's see who's in here. We can get an idea who's in. And we can see we've had a sell there from Mad River Investors. They sold just 253 shares, down a 0.25%. But we've got a majority seem to be buying. We've got Spence Asset Management, 361 shares, up 2.41. Total shares now 15,000. We've got Wedge Partners. They've sold some here. Let's have a look at what this is. 431, down 3%. So a good spread here. A new position from Gotham Asset Management. They've just opened a position, 1,000 shares in Q1 24. That's interesting. Okay, let's have a look at insiders. Okay, insiders. Let's have a look. All buys, informative buy. What this means, let's have a look. Shares bought on the open. Oh, shares bought on the open market. Okay, only a few, but nevertheless, people buying. July 18th, that was yesterday. Just 3 shares, just buying. 10% owner, 10% owner. Horizon Kinetics. Buy. They're just buying all the time with those things. Yeah. Okay. They're just consistently buying. Okay. So there's the inside trading. Let's come back out of there. The earnings, and we'll come back over to this screen now, I think would be better. The earnings, as we can see here, it is trending up consistently, steadily. I like a business like that. Steady growth. Bit like Coca-Cola, kind of. Not exactly. But steady business as usual, climbing. It's making money, and it's outperformed the market in Q4 there, you can see. outperformed in Q1 now, which is good, moving up. We've got an earnings coming up on August the 7th. If anybody wants me to cover the earnings, if you are a member of the channel and you do a super chat of at least $10, I can cover the earnings for you. And that's very, very important to learn about the stock. August the 7th. Do I have that slot available? August the 7th after hours. It doesn't look like I do, but I do have on the extra channel a spot available. If anybody wants to do a $10 super chat, we can put it on our extra channel with Sensei. So yes, it is possible we can cover that earnings if you want me to, but it's the first person to book that in if you do. Right, let's scroll down. Who else are we owning the stock with? This is important. Costco, solid, great company. Visa, great. Chevron, Exxon, Walmart, Berkshire Hathaway, all the money. So stability, good investors, no scammers, no gamblers, good quality here. Very, very good quality. I like it so far. Is it a buying opportunity though? Well, let's go and have a look. So tap the like button if you like this so far and consider subscribing if you do. We're going to share with you now some further information before we come on to the numbers, the big numbers in a moment. Let's first of all look at, let me just shut that down. There we go. The S&P. If you put 10, this is back in 2015, how far we can go back. 2015 in the S&P, you've 3 extra money. You've got $31,000. Not bad, right? Okay. Well, 10,000 would have returned you 207. And that is with reinvesting the dividends. Wow. What a growth that is. Is it likely to carry on? Well, we're going to find that out in a minute. Some gain that is. It's pretty stable as well. If you look at it, it trends, it sort of just exaggerates the S&P. It follows it. There was COVID. There's the COVID play, look. But as you can see, it grows with the S&P, just exaggerates everything and just grows up even higher. Incredible, incredible. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing, a solid, real company. And with what we've got with Elon Musk moving into Texas, SpaceX offices, more potential solar fields, land in Texas is going to go up, Donald Trump oil. This could be a very, very interesting stock, this one. Let's look at the dividends. So from 2012, 25 cents. This looks like it pays yearly. Yes, it pays yearly. 25 cents, 27, 29, 31, 35, $1, $1.05, $3, $1.75. That's the first drop. Otherwise, it was consistent. $4.25, $10, $6, $10, $10. And you need to be in by that's 2020, beg your pardon. That's 2020. We've not had any dividends since then. We had dividends until 2020. We've stopped, but now I believe there's dividends coming again. So they're playing it very well. They paid dividends in the early years. The stock then grew massively between 20 and where we are today. And if we go back to the chart, we'll see from 20, let's have a look for 2020, which is there. Right, we had this massive growth. They stopped paying dividends. Wouldn't matter, would it? Wouldn't matter. Now, because we're up here, I think it can carry on so far anyway. They're now going to introduce a dividend again, which is very interesting. They obviously want to keep you in the stock and reward its shareholders. So let me go over now to that, and then we'll do the numbers. Anyway, there's the chart today. Texas Pacific, an atypical real estate growth stock. This is a report just done a couple of days ago. I usually do not start with the history of a company to present my investment thesis, but Texas Pacific Land Corp, TPL, is such an atypical enterprise that it's better to start from the beginning. Its historical background explains its current business model. Very, very important. Founded in 1871, Texas and Pacific Railway Company was created through a federal charter to build a railway through a railway that would link East Texas to the Pacific Ocean in California, crossing Arizona and New Mexico. The company never completed the full line and had to file for bankruptcy in 1888. As a way to compensate the bondholders that invested in the railroad, the vast amounts of land, 3.5 million acres in Texas, were put in public trust for the benefit of those bondholders. Okay? Can you imagine how land has gone up since then? Bloody hell. The trust was later named Texas Pacific Land Trust, which is now known as Texas Pacific Land Corporation. A few decades later, the first oil well was drilled in 1920 and began many decades later, and again many decades later, 2010. Lands owned by the trust were going to be the subject of oil production revolution, shale oil extraction. It is no coincidence that the stock price started to rise in 2010. Makes sense. The company's business model is, simply put, the holding of strategic lands and receiving royalties on every economic activity that happens on these properties. Very simple business. I like it. Texas is expanding. People are moving here. Donald Trump, more oil, more drilling. They make money when Texas is basically worked on, is drilled on, is developed on. Very good. That's very good. I like it. What a great business model. And if Elon Musk puts solar farms all over Texas, boy, Texas Pacific Land is often wrongly considered an energy company. While it derives most of its revenue from oil and gas production, the company does not produce a single barrel of it. It's first and foremost a real estate company that holds vast amounts of land across Texas, particularly in the oil-rich Permian Basin. So basically, if you buy this company, you are buying land across Texas. I like that idea. The Permian Basin is the largest producing oil field in the United States, with 1.6 million barrels of oil produced per day. It holds an estimated 50 billion barrels of oil, the largest, second largest in the world. It previously had a decline since 1970s, but unconventional oil production methods, i.e. fracking, have boosted shale oil extraction in the region since 2010. Now, even if we diversify from oil into other things like solar farms, this is still going to benefit, right? The company makes its revenue from a variety of sources: fixed fee payments for use of the land by tenants, revenue of sales of materials used in construction of infrastructure, provision of source water or treated produced water, revenue from oil and gas royalty interest, and revenue related to saltwater disposal on its land. Texas Pacific Land also generates revenue from all types of infrastructure projects on its properties, like solar and wind installations. There you go. Further, it has no competition, and its moat owned of its lands, its ownership of lands rich in resources, is here to last essentially forever. I think this is brilliant. Basically, it's like being the owner of Texas. It's like being the owner of America. This is good. I like this. Generates revenue from all types of infrastructure projects. I like it. Further, it has no competition and is mostly owned, and its moat ownership of land is rich in resources. It's essentially here forever. As Warren Buffett trades portfolio said, when we own portions of outstanding businesses with outstanding management, our favorite holding period is forever. Texas Pacific Land is truly one of those stocks that, from my point of view, every long-term portfolio should hold some exposure to, with a forever time horizon. The royalties received on every barrel produced on 880,000 acres it owns in the Permian Basin. The high growth of its water business, the ultra-high financial margins, and the shareholder-friendly management makes the stock an unavoidable one in a long-term growth-oriented portfolio. Two distinct business lines. Texas Pacific Land has two distinct business lines through which it collects royalties and fees. The company makes a large portion of its revenue by lending land to reliable and growing oil-producing tenants like ExxonMobil Corporation, Chevron, EOG, Global Oil. It's like being the landlord for everybody. Everybody with money. I like this. I got to be honest. This sounds great to me. This is right up my street. Texas Pacific Land Corporation announces special dividend of $10 per share and a cash balance target. They've got, that's interesting, a dividend, $10 per share, a special, just a one-off payment, that is. Wow, pretty impressed. This is the business here. Pure play in the Permian Basin. Such history, such diversity. You basically own America. You basically own Texas. You own all the oil on it. You own all the water on it. You own all the solar on it. I love it. I love it. Very rarely I say a stock that I just go, I love it. It's a simple business model. It's a very simple business model that just cannot fail. Texas Pacific Land Corporation announces special dividend of $10 per share and cash balance target. Today announced that the company's board of directors approved a $10 per share special dividend. The special dividend will be payable on July the 15th. It's just been paid out to stockholders at the record close of July the 1st. There you go. That you can see how that was. We don't need to read into that. Really, we know all about the company. That's great. We have set a target cash and cash equivalents balance of approximately $700 million above the targeted level. TPL will seek to deploy the majority of its free cash flow towards share repurchases and dividends. That's good as well. Blimey, this is a very rarely I get everything great. Just basically you own Texas. Basically you own America. Basically you own everything that goes on it. I love it. Right. Let's have a look at the business, the numbers. If you like this so far, please tap the like button and consider subscribing. Loudwork, TPL. Now I've learned about a new stock today. Thanks and happy Friday. Loudwork, yes. And very nice it was too, Steve. Got comments coming in here as I'm making this video. It's being made live, so I always try to keep you updated as I make it live. Right, here we go. The intrinsic value, overvalued by 64%. Now, of course it is. Of course it's overvalued. Of course it is. It's a long-term play, future revenue. This is the kind of stock you buy and own and forget about it. It's not going to be undervalued. I don't think it will ever be undervalued. It just won't. People just don't trade it. They own it. That's it. Get on the bandwagon and that's it. Is it a good time? Well, if we look down here, it just keeps rising. It just keeps rising. You can't get it. If we look, there's brief moments, but it really isn't anything to shout about. At the peak there with 900, you could have bought it there. Well, there we go. There's 195, 244. There's a big swing there between 22 and 23, a year there. But I would imagine with Elon Musk moving to Texas, SpaceX, more solar, more drilling, oil, Donald Trump getting in, I wouldn't be worried about getting the bottom. I mean, of course, we all want to get the bottom, but if you look at it, it was higher. It was 901. So it's trending up. So more than likely, we're going to be there again, probably by election time. So you're going to make $100 a share by probably by election time. So oil's going up at the moment. So anyway, let's carry on. I like this stock. It's not about the price. It's about owning it. Let's have a look here. Revenue up 4%. Up 4%. And it's just going to continue to rise. And I would expect with the election, if it goes Donald Trump's way, this could steepen. So that's a considerable rise. Operating income up 6%. Net income up 7%. Ooh, look at that. There's a S curve if you've ever seen one. Financing cash flow down 4%. Investing cash flow up 0.8. Operating cash flow up 8%. What's there not to like about this? Assets, 1.3 billion in assets, of which cash is 837. They don't need to build the business. They just own the land. You just own the land. So there's no real, I mean, what do? I mean, you just own the land, right? They've got 837 million in cash. So a load of cash. You don't have to spend it. I mean, what do? You own the land. The land just sits there. There's no reinvesting, is there? There's no building it out. People pay to be on your land. They spend the money. You don't do anything. You're just basically a landlord of America. It's great. I like it. 136 million liabilities. So there's no debt. This is probably the perfect stock, right? There's no debt. We've just got day-to-day running costs. Okay, no debt. Look at that. It doesn't have anything. Accounts payable, none. Like there's no debt. There's nothing. They just don't have any bills. They just own the land. This is brilliant. Best business I've ever seen. Gross margin 94%. Well, I mean, you own America, right? So in an area that's expanding. I don't know if I can find anything about this I don't like. 78%. But you see, McDonald's have got expenses. I'm reading some comments coming in. This is completely different. You just own the land and sit on it and let everyone pay you money to use it. It's basically being a landlord of America. 78% operating margin, 66% net margin. Well, obviously, FCF margin, 59%. What's there not to like? 50% ROCE, 110% ROIC, 39% ROA. I can see why Warren Buffett owns this. 44% ROE. It's probably the best stock I've ever seen. Isn't it? Free cash flow. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. Oh my gosh. This is officially the best stock I've ever seen. Profitability score, 90%. I have never seen a 90%. Oh my God. Solvency score, 81. I've never seen a stock like it. I'm so glad someone pointed this out to me. So, worst case scenario. But this is the short term. Remember, Wall Street. You just own it. You just own it. It's just like owning America. And because I think if you can buy this on the dip, and then you just own it with what's going to go on with drilling, which is what's going to go on with Elon Musk, then it's just going to print money, right? 30% downside, worst case scenario, because it's expensive. Obviously, it's at its peak right now, right? So you just want to buy it when it dips, right? 8% downside on the average. Remember, there's no dividend here. You just own it. It's just growth. That's it. 18% upside. Not that much. You might say, well, own the S&P. Own the S&P. I bet this is in the S&P, isn't it? I bet this is in the S&P. I wouldn't be surprised. Someone could find out. Is it in the S&P? I'd probably say it is. Anyway, if you can buy this on a dip, that's what you do, right? That's what you do. So you are looking for the dip, right? Now then, if, however, you think Donald Trump's going to win the election and Elon Musk is going to build solar panels all over Texas, and Elon Musk and Donald Trump's going to open up more oil fields, Texas is going to make loads of money. So it makes sense. It makes sense to own it now, even if it dips. It doesn't matter. Like like Warren Buffett says, it's not the price of the stock. It's the company I want to own, and you just own it and keep it. Now, if you're much older, you might not see massive gains, but if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s, and you've got time, you're going to see some huge growth here. No doubt about that. So you're looking for those little moments when it dips. And then you just go as much as you can. Insiders, okay? I don't know if there's going to be an insight. I don't know if there's going to be an opportunity. Look, insiders, no selling, just buying. I've never seen a stock that has every box ticked. Every box is ticked. Percent short, and that makes sense. There's a reasonable amount of short interest here, because people are betting on it going down now, take some profit. That makes sense. I bet Stephen Lewandowski would understand this stock because he's an oil man. I bet he would understand it. I bet he would say it's a bit like oil. He knows what price he buys oil. He knows what price he sells oil. I bet Stephen would know what level you'd buy this. You just, the shorts are betting it's going to go down, take some profit. It'll drive down and buy it. The moment it goes down, you buy it. That's what you do. That's what you do. Anyway, there's my review on Texas Pacific land. So let's wrap this up. Is it a buy? Is it a sell? What's my thoughts on it? Well, before I tell you that, smash the like button and click subscribe or ring the bell. Let's put it like this. Rob Brennan has just done some research and said, damn, McDonald's only has 5% of the land that Texas Pacific does. Yeah, on a dip now, TPL, yes, on a dip, yes, there you go. Our oil man just said, on a dip, TPL, yes, he gets it. He's an oil man, he gets it. You buy it on a dip, that's it, and you own it. Right, so let's say, what do I think about this? It's the very first time I've ever seen it, and the best thing in the world to own is land. You're owning Texas. You're literally the landlord of Texas. You're the landlord of America. This is where people are moving to. Donald Trump's probably going to get re-elected. Oil's going to explode. We need more power because of EVs and spaceships and God knows what else and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk starts putting solar panels all over Texas. It's going to make them money. This is a no-brainer. Even if you bought it today, with where it is today, it doesn't matter if you own it. If you own it, it doesn't matter. You just own it and hold it. I'm tempted to even break my own rule of only owning the S&P and buy this. This is in fact, look, I'm going to put it on my watch list. There you go. Put it on my watch list. For a dip, I might, because I wouldn't be trading this, I'll just own it, right? I think it's a no-brainer. If you want to buy it today, fine. There might be a bit of downside. There won't be in 6 months. When the election comes, you could be up 30%. In 5 years, you could be up 300%. It's great. It's a no-brainer. So yes, it's a buy from me. Buy it when you like. Buy it when you want. I've never seen a perfect business that was as close to perfect as you can get. You own the land. You've got no expenses. You just own the land, and everyone who works it pays you money. Land isn't going anywhere. Land's going to go up in price. Energy is the future. Texas has the oil. Texas has the sun. Texas has the land. Brilliant. Balance sheet, great. No expense. It's best stock I've ever seen. Click above my head for all the links. Alpha Spread. Already added it to mine. David Ewan is going, I've added it to mine. It's great. Click above my head for Alpha Spread. MartynLucas.com. Scroll down. You'll find my full list. All my links, and you'll find Alpha Spread. All my members can get access to the software that I've been using for free. Members can get the premium version with a lifetime discount, so it makes it really, really cheap. In fact, it makes my membership for free. It's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer as well. Over here, and below, I'll put the links as well, okay, to Alpha Spread and everything else. Over here, I'll put my full playlist of all the stocks I've ever reviewed. Nearly 200 companies now I've reviewed. Can you believe it? Down here, I will put a new playlist for Texas Pacific land. And it'll be down there. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.